T-minus 15 seconds. Guidance is internal. 12, 11, 10, 9. Ignition sequence start. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running. Liftoff. We have a liftoff. 32 minutes past the hour. Liftoff on Apollo 11.
Hello everybody, welcome to Elite Wine TV. I'm your host Mark Fusco here for another episode of the show, and the third of the restaurant wine series. We have got the J. Lohr 2008 Paso Robles Merlot Los Osos. I think Osos is like bear or something like that. No, I can't remember what it is. Should have looked at it before I started thinking about what it was. Anyway, so this is a 2008 Merlot, and this can be had from Specs for $10.19. In a restaurant, it will range anywhere from $35 to $45 a bottle. And the restaurant will pay between $9 and $10 for it. So again, very close to what the average person is going to be spending on a bottle. So J. Lohr. Now this is one of those wines that wineries I've wanted to try something from a long time, and so I'm pretty excited about trying it out. They've been around for a while. It said that in the 60s, J stands for Jerry, that he bought in 1972, he planted his original 280 acres of varietal grapes. So in the 60s, he was looking at growing some grapes. He finally, I guess, bought some property, got it all set up in the Central Coast. Now, this is one of those things where back then, all California wine was really starting to kind of come up, but the focus was more on Napa Valley and Sonoma, and Central Coast was like nobody cared about. So he decided that this would be a great spot to grow grapes and to make wine from it. So the Paso Robles AVA is kind of almost literally right in the middle between Los Angeles and San Francisco. Central Coast is this kind of all-encompassing region of California that's between San Francisco and Los Angeles along the coast. So this particular Merlot is 81% Merlot, 9% Petit Syrah, 7% Malbec, and 2% Syrah. Again, I love fact sheets. Whether I can print them or not, I like to have just information on your website. Please, if you've got someone who can do this stuff, it doesn't have to look all fancy schmancy, but at least just give me the facts. I'm a geek. Hence the 1337. I want to know these things. A few other things about this when I was reading over this little thing. First of all, hey, they give you the harvest dates. Something that not everybody does. Another geeky type of thing. From September 9th through October 3rd of 2008. So just realize, they don't harvest everything in one day. They'll harvest things. And they talked about how they harvest things from different parts. No, was this one or was it the other one? Well, anyway, no, they harvest at different ranges of ripeness. That's what I was, and that's why it's over like basically a month period of time. That allows them to combine the grapes and create a certain type of blend to it as far as a flavor profile. But the other thing that I found pretty interesting, besides it's aged 12 months in barrel, is that it's using American oak and Hungarian oak. So not your typical, we use American and French, or we use French, or we use American. And they tell you where the oak came from, Missouri and Minnesota. Now, I'm not as much up on oak as I probably should be, other than I have the basic ideas what I know basically what American oak will do and what French oak will do to a wine, and how, the types of flavors and aromas it's going to impart on the wine. I honestly really don't know what Hungarian oak does to wine and why you would use it over something else. Just like there's in the northeastern part of Italy, using Slovenian oak, Slovakian oak, Slovenian oak. That's been a tradition in Italy in general, but up in that part of Italy, because they're right next to Slovenia, using that type of oak. I honestly don't know what that does other than, oh, it's Slovenian oak. I'm like, okay, well, what does that mean? Just like, when they tout French and American oak, well, they think the average American is going to know what that means. They don't. They just know it has oak in it. Anyway, the only thing I don't really ever see very much is when people talk about they use this type of oak and they use more than one kind, is saying how much the percentage of American is versus another one. They will sometimes put a few more wines down the road. They'll say 25% or 40% is French oak, or I'm sorry, not the type of new oak. Okay, that's great, but how much of it was American oak and how much of that was new? How much was French and how much was new? And the old oak, how old it is? Again, geeky stuff. Give me the rest of the information. Does it really matter to the average person? No, it doesn't. But for me, it does. Anyway, still, American and Hungarian oak. That's kind of cool. I don't know if I've had any. I probably have had some wine that was aged in Hungarian oak. Some of the Eastern European wines I've had. But that was the other thing I found pretty interesting. So let's get on with doing it. Did I start the timer? I bet you I didn't. Oh, I did. We're almost at 7 minutes. Good Lord. All right, so let's get to tasting and smelling. Ooh, kind of nice. A little candified, but definitely some fruit coming through with this. I'm getting the raspberries. They said it was cherry, didn't they? Cherries. Well, sure. I'll go with cherries too. Yeah, I get that. A little bit of earthiness, but really just a hint. Let's see how it tastes. Okay, again, comparing the other two wines, it's a little bit more mouthfeel. Okay, again, lighter bodied to full bodied. Okay, a little bit more. I'm enjoying this wine a little bit more. You start to see the trend. I tend to like full bodied wines a little more. But here's the other thing, a little bit of cream. Get a little bit of that creaminess. And now I'm getting that kind of cherry pie, not really strawberry, that kind of a cherry pie feel to it, but not a lot. This is definitely a fruit-forward wine. It's fruity. If you like that, then I suggest to get it. The tannins, about the same as the Coppola, maybe a little bit lighter tannins. Again, tannins don't necessarily, they're part of the mouth feel, but how does the wine feel? But it's a creamier wine. This is totally a wine I can just drink on its own. I don't need food with it. It will pair well with food. But see, now this is something where I would do something like, I would put chicken with this wine. Barbecue chicken, or chicken with like a sauce on it. I would pair this with that type of chicken. I could see putting it with seafood, like a salmon. Then again, I don't really eat seafood a lot, but just my impression of salmon and how it can be meaty. You could pair it with that and get away with it. Certain sauces, you get away with it. It would work well. I would suggest it. So I'm saying 88. It's an 88 point wine. I really like it. I like it a little bit better than the other two. But guess what? You know what? This is 1019 at specs. This was less. The Coppola was more. It was right in the middle. So again, price doesn't necessarily mean it's better. It was in the middle of the other two, but I like it a little bit better. It fits my palate. All right, even though I like the vegetal wines a lot, and I don't necessarily go for the creamy wines, it's got a nice little it's got a nice little flavor to it. It's awesome. All right, so that's going to do it for today. We're going to push on with the rest of the wines, and we'll see everybody again next time.